Hi everyone, this is Tanya the Lady Strange. Welcome back to my altar room. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome. Either way, thanks for being here. So this is been a long time. I have not done one for my series of tales of my personal hauntings. Now these are my paranormal experiences, spiritual experiences as a practitioner, as a witch, a left-hand path practitioner, and just an intuitive, a psychic, and someone that's always been, since I remember, since birth, connected in ability to see spirits, see beyond and not what others seen, hear things, recognize things, and feel more connected. There's many benefits to that. They outweigh the negatives in many cases because it helps me to be actually empowered and be a better version of myself, but to stay connected to the universe and itself and the spiritual realm and the powers that be. With that being said, this Tales of the Personal Hauntings has been probably a couple months since I did one. They're just a bunch of randomness. These are my gnosis. These are my experiences. So this is what I see. I have experiences I've known, and that's true to me. It's UPG, of course, but it is me. If you find these entertaining, or you like these, or have any questions, you can comment below. Please like or subscribe. This is just for me, and of course, a lot of my channel, being very small as it is much of a video diary for myself, sometimes to document my progress, my experiences, and my magical past, as we each should do, no matter what that may be or what we may experience. If you like this, please grab a beverage. I have one in my lovely Capricorn mug. I'm a Capricorn. 111 stands for January 11th. That's my birthday. So that's where the 111 comes from, the Lady Strange, in case you didn't catch that before. Not really an angel number as much as my birthday. Hey, it works. But I am a Cappy, and I just love this coat mug for many reasons. Makes me smile. And I have in it some coffee. Some Bloody Kisses coffee from Concert Coffee, I believe, which is an inspiration from my favorite band, Typo Negative. I am a big rock and metal gal, especially of gas metal. So, with that being said, other than what my interests are, yes, so let me take a sip of this. So, excuse me. So today, I'm just going to mention some things, and I probably mentioned these in some of the few videos I have filmed on this, or mentioned this, but being that I am connected with spirits on a very highly energetic level, and I often call myself a beacon because I attract them, whether they are spirits of those that have passed recently or centuries ago per se, whether they were people that I knew, ancestors, or people that I've encountered in this life, like family members or friends that may have passed on way too early, in my opinion. But also, or people I don't recognize, or spirits that just cross my path. So basically, yes, and I'm saying a lot of ums. Yeah, bear with me. So, with that being said, I'm since I'm energetically connected, and oftentimes I've been very ungrounded. I do my best, and I'm a lot better and improved so much, especially in the last several years, with a lot of self-work and a self-improvement, and putting in that work, that effort, and healing, growth, expanding, and letting go. Much like with me being a left-hand practitioner, it helps me as a woman in this body and life experience, but as a spiritual being and a magician. But with that being said, my whole life on there, I've always connected, as mentioned. Trying not to be too repetitive here. So, I'm going to mention today here, since I'm so connected, I have spirits coming to me almost, and have, as I mentioned, about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, since I can remember in this life. Now, sometimes it's been periods where they've been a bit more quiet, or depending on the circumstances or environments, I have not had that so much. The only time I can remember of my gift, my connection, my spirits visiting me, or entities or deities, or that I actually did not recognize any, or maybe seemed to be temporarily turned off, was when I went in the hospital in 2018 due to I'm a diabetic. So I went in for ketoacidosis. Yes, so life-changing experience, and I'm still here. And I have learned from a lot of that, and I think that's also what opened me up to the left-hand path. It also helped me to recognize what the theme of this video is, where spirits visit me at all times of the day and night. What often scared me throughout this life, especially was at night and sleeping. Many people have that, whether they are magically, spiritually, or they walk the path, like as I say, or they just lived a mundane life, or all of the above. But it is basically saying is that sleep is, when I do remember, especially as of lately, in the past couple of years, I've had very vivid, intense dreams where I know that I have been on the astral and out-of-body experience, but I've throughout my life have had spirits touch me. And it's not just where you feel the breeze, often it is, or maybe the tingling, the change in temperature, or you may hear something. But it's often some of them touch you and it feels like a person, a physical presence, not just an energetic or spiritual presence. The fact is, when I'm often sleeping or napping, which I'm diabetic. I have had it for many years, so my energy reserves are often down. So I need more sleep and more naps, but I make do. So basically, I will be asleep, and when no one's here, my husband's not here, it's just my husband and I that live here, and my cats don't feel like, you know the difference if you have pets, of course. It feels like a person touching me and waking me up. I get a tap on their shoulder. I get a tap on my butt. That's often. And no one's physically here to do so, or my husband's asleep. So with that being said, how do you explain that? Especially when it feels exactly like the energy of a living, breathing being versus that of a spirit or entity. I do believe, though, obviously, that entities and spirits do have that type of power and can make themselves known that way and physically touch us or move things in our environment, as often many people have encountered. I'm not the only one. There's literally millions of people that encounter that on small or big measures. There's also the fact is that when I'm going to sleep often, especially more so in the past couple of years, as I said, my gifts, my abilities, so to say, my personal power and sovereignty have increased exponentially because of the hard work and my experiences, of course. They're all interwoven and intershaped. So basically, when I go to sleep at night, quite often, last night being an example and an inspiration for this video, amongst many others, I have mentioned that when I have been visited by deities before, or entities, I have quite a lot of, and have always, as a child, I didn't know what this was. Even as an adult, I didn't. But that's where you continue to learn, grow, research, and study, but apply to your own practice and your own gnosis. That's the best thing, is to come up with your own practice, your own gnosis, and to be of your own experience. Resources are great. Use them. I'm a big one on learning and using your resources, reading, and of course, connecting with others for their gnosis. But more first of all, it's your experience. So basically, when I go to sleep and I start trying to go to sleep, and often slowly slipping into sleep, or the first stages, so to say, and letting go of, the consciousness or the waking world. And again, no one's in the home. It is winter. There is no one outside here. A vehicle wouldn't do this. There's no construction at 10, 11 o'clock at night in the winter. So, yeah, and many other things. But I closed my eyes, and like last night, maybe it's a physical thing with my body and my energy. Very well possible, and very well possible and plausible and explainable. And many of these things could be. But, or it could just be me and myself. But, yeah. So, and I'm saying the word so a lot. Yeah, something's kind of trying to block me. Well, it feels like the room's shaking. It's kind of like a mini earthquake. Nothing like jarring or bad. But it's kind of like the sense of being moved and something's walking. And I'm not talking like a person walking. I'm talking like heavy presence. And often the presence or presences of the entities or deities that are coming are come close and either loom over me or move in and out of my bedroom. So that can certainly make it hard to fall asleep, of course, especially when you're tired or you really want to or need to. But it can also affect when you go into sleep and into dreams. But knowing that presence, obviously, as I mentioned, I always sensed and have sense of presence with me. I don't believe that we're ever alone, especially myself in this case. But could it be that's what's visiting me and what touches me? And I do believe so. It's not only my guides, my spirit guides, which I do have a connection and know of some of them that are family members or as basically spirit guides, ones that were never in a corporal form, or the spirits I work with personally. I do work with certain spirits that were never human on purpose, that were never human. Let's put it this, or never had a human form. Many practitioners do, many magicians do, and many witches do, or pagans. I just happen to be one of them that does too, and I have a few. I'm not going to go into them other than the fact that they were never human. They're quite interesting, let's put it that way, and have quite unique characteristics and personalities in my life, in my practice. Could it be them? Yes. Many cases, is it that? Do they want to wake me up from potentially a bad dream or maybe a bad place where I may be, or roaming in astral projection or another realm? Yes, that definitely could be it. Could they be affecting me and reminding me of things in my environment, or that might be there especially when I'm asleep, especially since I'm almost deaf? So, yes, so that might be another way of senses or sensory to aid me. But is there also something coming to watch over me? Is there something coming to warn over me? Are they coming to give me gnosis once I'm asleep? Are they coming to connect or try to reach out and get me maybe when my defenses are lower, or when I'm less skeptical, and when I'm less questioning, to try to relay messages, gnosis, guidance, protection, empowerment, or is it something coming to harm me? Now, I used to be, honestly, deathly afraid of those vibrations and those senses of presences, especially when I knew that they were not human and they were outside of explanation. However, now I've just come to be like, okay, I either accept it, depending on that, I kind of try to do some basic discernment of the energy and move with it. Now, is it scary being touched when you're asleep and knowing that another person's not there, or being woken up out of sleep? Yes. Is it annoying? Oftentimes, yes. Does it let me know that maybe what I'm working with and connecting with has a presence or a message? Yes. Also on that same token. Or something's watching over me. But does it mean that I'm highly connected? Yes. Is it a sign sometimes at the ground? Yes. Now, I'm not sure. I don't know of anyone really in my personal life. I know a couple practitioners and witches, but some of them I talk to intimately and closely, and some not so much. But I don't know many that mentioned, especially the touching thing, yes. That type of thing. But if I don't know about the vibration or how when an entity or deity or spirit comes, whether they have the same experience at their room, their home, themselves, their bed is vibrating, or that there's a obviously energetic shift and earthquake. Now, I look at it at different ways and at different places and what I'm sensing. Does it happen to me outside of my home? At points, yes. Is it more prevalent in all the homes I've lived in or beds I've slept in and that I've owned? Yes. So it's primarily with me. Has it happened with other people other than my husband in the house or environment? Yes. But it was, again, not them. So what do you think? Do you think it was a spirit, a deity, an entity? Do you think it's a factor of my brain and consciousness playing tricks on me? Do you think it was harmful or painful? Do any of you have that type of, or ever had the unexplainable paranormal experiences like that? Thank you for bearing with me with my rambles. I just decided to put this out there for the hell of it, as they say. So please like, comment, and subscribe if you like my rambles and you just have similar experiences or find any of my content interesting, as it is appreciated. And with that being said, stay strange.